Hi, my name's Richard Duffy. I am the SAP Business One product evangelist, and on behalf of all of the SAP team and all of our partners all around the world, I'd like to welcome you to today's presentation. Today's session is entitled Experience the Power of One. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk with you about SAP Business One, which is a single system that is designed to streamline your entire business. So before we get started, many of you may be familiar with SAP. Some of you may not. Well, let me tell you a little bit about SAP, really in the context of helping you understand that SAP really is a solid, viable business software partner for you to choose. So SAP was actually founded in 1972 and today has 64,000 employees worldwide. And external organizations have rated us as the number one provider of enterprise resource planning software around the world, and also been rated as the number one largest software vendor in Europe and number 4 worldwide, with more than 16 billion euros in sales revenue in 2012. Now, there are sales and development locations in more than 75 countries around the world, and we have a partner network with more than 11,500 companies populated with people who work with organizations just like yours. And these folks, they get up, eat, sleep, and breathe SAP solutions for our shared customers every single day. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily know it, but of SAP's 251,000 customers, more than 80% of them are small and mid-sized enterprises like yours. And our SME customer base has actually tripled in the last 3 years. So why do I tell you all of these things? Well, again, SAP is focused and committed to the ERP, or the enterprise resource planning or business management software market. We're committed to the small and mid-sized enterprise space, and importantly, thousands of customers just like you have chosen to invest in an SAP solution. And important to note, the reason why I point out that sales revenue number is that a very, very large percentage of that revenue gets channeled back into product research and development, building the very latest products. And the one that I'm going to focus on in today's presentation is SAP Business One. And Business One is SAP's solution, which is specifically designed for the small enterprise market. Now, when you look at our small and mid-sized enterprise product portfolio, we have 3 key products: Business All-in-One, Business by Design, and Business One. So what's the difference? Well, Business All-in-One and Business by Design are really designed for larger mid-sized enterprises. All-in-One is our most scalable solution, and it's designed for companies who have very, very specific industry-specific needs. And there's a hosting option available where you can buy your licenses and put them into a data center. Now, then you have SAP Business by Design, and that's our easiest to consume application for mid-sized enterprises. It's designed for those organizations who prefer a no IT option. It's available on demand only. Now, then we have SAP Business One, which we're focusing on today, and it's available in both on-premise and on-demand, and I'm going to explain a bit more about that in our demonstration. And it's our most affordable solution. It's an entry-level ERP solution. It's ideal for growing small or mid-sized enterprises, and it's available, as I mentioned, on-premise, hosted by a partner, or available on demand, so you pay per user per month. All right? So, a little bit of a snapshot of SAP's SME portfolio. So let's talk specifically about SAP Business One before we dive in and take a look at a demonstration. When you think about SAP Business One, what is it? Well, it's an application that's designed exclusively for small enterprises. Now, depending on which country you're in, small enterprise means different things to different people. So it's important to understand we have companies running SAP Business One where they have 3 employees, and all 3 of those people use SAP Business One. We have large enterprises with thousands and thousands of employees who run SAP Business One in their small subsidiary or sales offices. So really, that's only designed as a guideline for you. You'll draw your own conclusions once you see the functionality and scalability of the SAP Business One solution as to whether or not it's right for you. but it's complete. All the essential business functions, including customer relationship and Salesforce automation, are all available out of the box. You don't have to buy one product for accounting, a different product for CRM, and try and tie them together, a different product for reporting, try and tie it together. We deliver everything in one application, pre-integrated for you. And that's what we talk about when we say integrated. And that makes the system easy to set up, use, and optimize. But importantly, you can also integrate with other systems like Microsoft Office. And we deliver pre-built integration with Microsoft Office. But we also have standard integration packages which are built on industry standards that make it easy for you to integrate with other applications. And the product's extensible, which means it has got room for growth and future innovation. Now, there are 41 localizations and more than 500 pre-integrated industry-specific solutions available via what we call SAP software solution partners. So, not only can your solution consist of the core SAP Business One application, but also these solutions from our SSPs. It's innovative. It's offered via mobile devices and provides real-time data insight using SAP HANA, which is our new in-memory database technology. And really, this is all about helping you stay ahead of the competition. And it's truly affordable. Why do I say that? I've mentioned already, you can start with a basic implementation with one user or two users, or you can use the starter package, which includes both software and implementation from a number of our partners, which is available as a quick, low-cost, low-risk option with limited capacity for up to 5 users. And then, of course, also on demand, where you can commit to a certain number of users for a certain number of months and pay per user per month. So they're the different options of SAP Business One, and that's really what SAP Business One is about. So really, that's a bit of a snapshot of summarizing all the points that I talked about. But what I'd like to do before I dive into a demonstration is just recap and make sure that you understand all the components that are available in SAP Business One. So we have our core, the core Business One application, which contains the functionality, the geographic localizations to make it fit your country's specific business requirements, and the extensibility, which makes the solution global and extensible. We also run on top of SAP HANA, which is our new in-memory technology. Now, HANA stands for High Performance Analytical Appliance, but really this is about a new way of working with your data so that it is all stored not on a hard disk. Yes, it's stored on a hard disk for data protection, but when you start using it, it all gets loaded up into main memory, and that makes it incredibly fast, up to 100 times faster, or even 1,000, or we at SAP, we have the 10,000 times club, and this is organizations who've taken a business process, put it onto SAP HANA, and it runs 10,000 times faster. So you can expect exponential improvements from utilizing SAP HANA, and that allows us to deliver new business scenarios, analytics, scalability, and performance, and you'll have access to a number of different demonstrations explaining all of that to you. So that helps us solve the, if you like, the big data challenge for businesses of all sizes. Business One also comes with on-demand and mobile options, with multi-tenancy hosting, an on-demand offering, and you can download from the Apple Store a completely free mobile application which allows you to access your SAP Business One data on your iPad or iPhone. So that makes it easy to consume. And from an integration perspective, we offer to you pre-built integration that allows you to not only integrate with trading partners using, for example, the Ariba network, but also enables you to integrate with subsidiaries. If you are a subsidiary of a large company, or perhaps you're a large enterprise customer watching this presentation and you've got smaller subsidiaries that you want to put a standard solution in for each one of those organizations. We offer that in an easy, robust set of integration packages. Really what that does is that puts all this together in a compact business solution stack with the components that provide a core, that cover your standard business processes end to end. It can run completely on in-memory technology. There is an orchestration layer that enables you to handle your integration and collaboration. The solution scope can be extended. You have a full flexibility on your deployment, either on-premise or on demand. And we also have a number of tools which help you manage your total cost of ownership and drive down the cost of running your solution. So with that, let's dive in and we'll take a look at a bit of a demonstration. So let's take a look at SAP Business One. And what I'd like to do in this short demonstration is two things. I want to give you a quick overview of the user interface of SAP Business One, so you can get a sense for the power and the flexibility of the application. And then just to give you a quick snapshot of one piece of functionality, what I'm going to do is take you through a business process called order to cash. And this is where we go through a process of taking a sales order. Matter of fact, we're going to start from a quotation, taking it all the way through to the point at which you get paid for that sale. And hopefully that will give you a little bit of a deeper dive into some of that functionality. But of course, at the end of today's presentation, I'm going to give you some links to additional videos that you can watch, which will take you through other areas of functionality of SAP Business One in detail. So let's have a quick look at SAP Business One's user interface. And the whole concept behind Business One is that we work with this idea of user roles. So when you go to work every day, there's different things that you may be responsible for. 1 minute you might be responsible for looking after accounts receivable. Next minute you might be called upon to work with the inventory system. Then maybe you might have a customer who is wanting a quotation. Then next thing you know, you have to create a purchase order. So in SAP Business One, we have different roles defined that have functional sets allocated to those roles, but you can also create your own personalized role. And the tool that we use to manage all of this is what we call the cockpit. And this is an example of a cockpit that I have built for myself, being a salesperson, and I have put a couple of components into my cockpit. Now, the cockpit, just the same as it is for a pilot on an aeroplane, is designed with a couple of key instruments, if you like, that help you keep the plane flying in the direction that you want. And there's also little tools that tell you if something's not going right, for example. That's what this is. This is an example of what we call a dashboard. And this is a very simple dashboard, which I'm going to show you how this works in a minute. But this is a dashboard which shows us our sales analysis for our current financial year. So it shows us our financial year analysis. It shows us our opportunity win rate. It gives us a picture of our top 5 customers, and it shows us our top 5 selling products for the particular customer that's selected here. Now, we've only got one customer in here, and that's on purpose because I wanted to show you this information updating in real time. Now, across here is the messages and alerts widget, and this is an example. These 3 things here are what we call widgets, and widgets are little pieces of functionality. So this widget shows us any messages and alerts that come out of the system. So you can set SAP Business One up so that it tells you when there's something you need to pay attention to. Rather than traditional systems which have you looking through reports, looking for problems, SAP Business One will take the definitions that you have created and it will automatically alert you when that takes place. So for example, here's a scenario where you've got some sales orders where the profit margin is less than the value that you've defined as being a trigger point in your organization. You've also got workflows. So here is you've received a request to approve a document. And then I've also, because SAP Business One has CRM or customer relationship management all throughout the entire system, I've got an alert here that I've got some activities that I have to take care of today. So again, very, very intuitive, and Business One almost acts like an additional employee for your business, sitting there and keeping an eye on things for you and letting you know when you have to take action. And we call that management by exception. So then I've also got another widget here, my open documents. And if I go here, click on the little spanner or wrench, depending on what you like to call it, the little tool there. If you choose refresh, this tells you, hey, you've got 23 quotations, 28 sales orders, 4 service calls that are open, but no purchase quotations. So that allows me to quickly keep a track of what's going on. I want to look at my sales quotations, one click, I get a list of all of those sales quotations. I want to look at the most valuable one first. I double click on the amount column header, and you'll then see it sorts those sales quotations on the basis of the dollar value. So I can go and chase up this one for Norm Thompson for $58,000. Well, you can see we've got some historical data in here, and that's been sitting in there since 2007. So I can go back and I can follow up on that if I want to. But I've also got ones in here that are a little bit more recent. Again, just double clicking on that column header will sort them on that basis. And you can see I've got additional quotations in there. I want to look at my existing sales orders, same scenario, just a single click there on the sales orders, and it gives me a list of all of those sales orders. Okay, and you can see I've got some there from 2013. And with SAP Business One, anytime you want to look at the underlying information, you'll see when there is underlying information, we have this golden arrow. So if I want to look at that specific document, I simply click on that golden arrow there for 249, and up pops that document, and there it is. There's my sales order. Now you'll also notice against the customer name, I have a customer code for Earthshaker Corporation. If I wanted to look at that customer record, again, one click and there's the customer record. And I can see everything I need to know about that customer from this one screen. What's their account balance? How many deliveries do they have pending? How many orders are there outstanding? And in my Salesforce automation component, how many sales opportunities are my sales team working on with this customer? So if I'm the CEO of this particular company and I'm about to ring Earthshaker Corporation, from this one screen, I can see basically everything about my relationship with Earthshaker Corporation. All right, so the whole idea behind SAP Business One is it's designed to give you a broad set of functionality. We talked about that earlier in the presentation, but it's designed to make it easy for you and your people to get access to that functionality. And again, another way of doing that, traditional systems give you a menu, all right? And SAP Business One is no different. We give you all these menus. If you want to go and create a sales order, you go into sales and then open up the sales order. But with the cockpit, we have this thing called a common functions widget. And I can add all of the functionality from here that I use on a regular basis across into my common functions widget. How do I do that? It's really easy. All I do is I open up the function that I want. Let's say, for example, I want to do general ledger reports on a regular basis. I click and I drag that across here into my common functions widget, and there you go. There's my general ledger report available to me. Now, how does that help you? Well, once you've defined everything in the common functions widget, you can simply go here and you can close down the menu completely, and that frees up a lot more space in your cockpit so you can add multiple dashboards. So you can have 4, 5, 6 or more dashboards on your screen depending on the size of your screen and the amount of screen real estate that you have. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, the other thing, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm actually running SAP Business One here inside a web browser. So not only can you run SAP Business One from a traditional on-premise deployment, as we talked about earlier, where you have a server in your office and everyone's connected on your local area network, but you can, as I'm doing here right now with nothing more than a web browser, access SAP Business One over the web through what's commonly now called the cloud, where the server is sitting in a data center being looked after and managed by somebody else. So again, just wanted to point that out to you. And the great thing about SAP Business One is whether you're using it on-premise or on-demand, the user interface is exactly the same. So you have all of that rich functionality is automatically available in our on-demand version, the same as it's available in our on-premise version. And again, what's the difference? Well, here, all I need is a web browser. I access everything through my web browser. All right, so that's a little bit of a look at the user interface of SAP Business One. So what I want to do now is I want to take you through that order to cash process and just show you how quick and easy it is to work with SAP Business One. So the very first step in my order to cash process is, let's say I start up with a sales quotation. So I go down here to my common functions and I click on sales quotation. Who's my customer? I want to do a lookup. I can simply click here and do a lookup. And in this case, I'm actually going to pick microchips. All right, and I can see that they have a balance of 79,000. So here's microchips. Is it Judy Brown who's the contact for this? No, actually, in this particular instance, it's Megan who's called me about this quotation. So there's today's date. That's the document's going to be valid for only 1 day, but I can, if I want to, any of these date fields, I can change. So I'm going to make this document, I'm going to make this quote valid till the end of December. All right. And so now I just go ahead and I start choosing the products that they want in the quote. And again, you'll see here is all of my products. So I've got my IBM Info Print 1312. I got 3,839 of those in stock, so no shortage of those. Maybe with that much stock, I may want to give Megan a discount. But anyway, let's see what we'll do. So I select that product and I go in here and I put in the quantity. So I'm going to give it to her. She wants 20 in the quote. And the unit price is $50 or $500 rather. So what I can do here, if I want to, I can go in and I can choose last prices, and then the system comes up and it shows me every time I've ever sold this product to Megan or to Megan's company and how much I sold it to them for. So I've always sold it at $500 and that's fine. But in this case, I might decide to give Megan a discount of 10%. So again, all I do, go in here and choose a 10% discount. Now you'll see this gives me a scroll bar here because I've got more information than is currently showing in the window. I can just go here and I can resize this window if I want. And now I can see everything. So it's 20 times 500 less my 10% discount gives me my 9,000. Now here is where I'm applying a discount at the line level, but I can also apply a discount to the overall document. Up to you. So that's it. Very, very quick, very, very easy. I just say add. And that's my sales quotation is now created. Now, if I want to go and print that sales quotation out, again, very, very simple. There it is. I simply go up here and I click on the print preview function. And what the print preview function will do is it will give us a quick look at what our quotation is going to look like before we print it, just to make sure we're happy with it. And we can change the format. SAP Business One comes with SAP Crystal Reports, and you can see Crystal Reports is now preparing that document for me, and it's rendering that document. So I can make my documents as graphically rich and as attractive or as simple as I want. So there's my sales quotation. I can print that, fax it, email it, anything like that. So that's fine. I've sent it to Megan. She's come back to me and she said, you know what? I'd like to go ahead with that. So all I do is I open up the sales quotation and I go here and I say copy to sales order. And there it is. I now have a sales order automatically created with all of those details. But Megan says, you know what, if I increase the quantity to 30, can you give me a bigger discount? I'll say sure. So all I need to do is I go in here and I'll increase that to 30, and I'm going to increase the discount to 15%. So there's all my new values. That's all good. That's all. Well, I'm ready to go. When does Megan want it delivered? Well, she said, can you deliver it on the 7th? No problem, I can do that. And you'll see it's saying here that it's based on sales quotation 250. So every document's linked together as it goes through the process. I now say add, asking me, do I want to update the rows with the delivery date? Because I've changed the delivery date here, okay? You can set a separate delivery date for every row if you want to, so you can do scheduled deliveries. So I'll say okay to that, and that document is now going to be added. So I'll click on add, and the transaction has now completed. Now I know the transaction's completed because Business One's always giving me these little messages down the bottom letting me know that everything's gone through successfully. So there's my sales order. Again, I can go out and I can print a confirmation. I can automatically email Megan a confirmation, have all that happen in the back-end workflow engine for SAP Business One. What's the next step? Well, now it's time to deliver it. Well, I can copy that to a delivery. And by the way, if you're processing hundreds and hundreds of documents a day and you want to batch process these, so your people are sitting there keying sales orders until midday, and then at midday you go and do your pick and pack process, SAP Business One supports that batch processing of that information as well. So there's the delivery I'm going to create. So I'll go and say add. Now, it's saying the document total is 0. Do I want to continue? No, I don't. Why? Because I haven't told it exactly how many I wanted to deliver out of that 20. So she's ordered 20. I'm going to deliver 20. Of course, I can handle partial deliveries if I want to, but I'll say add. Now, this is now going to create accounting transactions. That's just why it's telling you once you've started this, you can't change the document after you've added it. You have to put in another transaction to make any changes. Now, you cannot add document. You can only issue 0 of this item in this warehouse. So what do I need to do? I want to go in here now and I want to go and do my available to promise. So I can go in here into available to promise and it can show me all of my items, okay, all of the orders that I have for this product, all of the purchase orders that are available, and then I can specify that I want to look at multiple warehouses. Now, I know I've got this product in a number of different warehouses. So what can I do? Well, very, very simply, I can go into the system if I have the rights and I can allocate this product from a different warehouse. So let's take a look at that. So here's my product. But right now you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, well, hang on, Richard, where's the warehouse field? How do I go and change this? Well, there's 2 ways of doing that. I'm able to go in and call it up by selecting all the detailed row information. Or what I can do is if this is going to be something that's happening on a regular basis, I simply go up here once only into my form settings. And here's where I tell the system, you know what? In this table, I actually want to include the warehouse. So I simply scroll down here until I find the warehouse, and there it is. I'll say I want it to be visible. If I don't want people to change it, I can simply untick that so they can see it but not change it. But in this case, I want to see it and change it. And you know what? It makes a bit more sense to have the warehouse field up near the quantities. So I simply drag that information up and drop it next to the ordered quantity. I say OK. And there you have it. I now have the warehouse. So I can press Control Tab and it now shows me how much stock I've got available in each of these warehouses. Right, so I've got this much in stock, this much is committed. In this warehouse, I've got this much stock, I've got none committed. So again, I can choose exactly where I want to pull this stock from. So in this case, I'm going to pull it from warehouse 2 just for the sake of the demonstration. Again, I've added more information, so I might want to make that screen a little bit bigger. And that's all fine. So now I'll say add. And you can now see my transaction's gone through successfully. So we're good to go with that. So what's the next step? Obviously, the next step is to generate an invoice. So there is my delivery. So now I simply go in here, and again, remember, all this can be done en masse with multiple documents through a batch processing. I'm just showing you a simple example here. Here's the transaction. I'm going to turn it into an invoice. I simply say OK. Again, it's telling me there's an accounting transaction being created here, and that's now done. I can go in, look at that transaction now, and if I want to, I can print out the invoice, or I can have the invoice automatically print for me on a defined printer that I've said this is the printer that I want to use to print out all my invoices. Or of course, I can have that automatically generate into an email in the background and have that go out as well. But let's take a quick look at our invoice layout. And again, this is a sample invoice layout. You can change all of the document layouts in SAP Business One, and we provide you a couple of tools to do that, either SAP Crystal Reports if you want to have more graphically rich documents, or you can also use what we call our print layout designer if your documents are just quick and simple documents that have not a lot of graphical information in them. So here is my document, and here's a little thing that I'm not sure if you've noticed, but inside my crystal report, I actually have my golden arrows. So that means I can drill down from the report with one click. I can now drill down from the report, and there is the open inventory information here inside SAP Business One. So again, another advantage of the SAP Crystal Reports. So that's it. I've now got my entire document. We started off with our quotation. We went to a sales order, then to a delivery, then to an invoice. So now let's go and we'll call up our sales quotation. And again, I can go here to sales quotation. No one else has been in since I was in. So let's go and call up that last one. And there is my sales quotation. Now, inside SAP Business One, I can right click on any one of those documents and I can say, show me the relationship map. And this is a really nice piece of functionality inside SAP Business One. So it shows me all of the documents and how they're all linked together. And if I want to go and take a look at that delivery, I just double click on it and it will bring me in and show me that specific delivery. Okay, so that's a thing called the relationship map, and you can look at that in a number of different ways. You can look at the posting details as well, so it shows you how those transactions got posted through to the general ledger. Okay, now the sales quotation, it didn't get posted through to the general ledger. Why? Because it's a quotation and there's no GL posting. So that's why you're not actually seeing it there. But I can also look at the related items. When I take the related items view, it will show me all of the inventory items that are on that sales quote. Right now, I've only got one, but if there was 10 or 20 or 30, I could see them all here in my relationship map. And then, of course, again, double click allows me to drill down to that underlying information. All right, so very nice and easy way of navigating through the system. So that's good. Well, that's my order process. Now I want to get paid. So what do? Well, in this particular instance, I don't do payments on a regular basis, so I haven't put it in my common functions widget, but I can still get to it. I simply go across here to modules. I go to my banking module. I go and I process an incoming payment. I go here to incoming payments, and you know what? This is going to be one of my regular tasks now, so let's drag and drop that across here. There it is, incoming payments. And I simply choose who it is that's making the payment. So in this case, it's Microchips. And now it shows me all of the documents that are outstanding for Microchips. So I've got a couple of things I can do here. I can let the system tell me what's outstanding, or I can go in and I can say, you know what? I have a payment just for one transaction, and I'll select that one transaction. Let's select the last one that we did. There it is. That's the transaction that they're paying. Now, you'll see the balance due is $9,201. Sorry, let me start that again. It's $9,201.25, but it's saying the total amount due is only $9,017.22. Why do you think that might be? Well, I'll tell you why. Because this particular customer is entitled to settlement discounts if they pay within 30 days. So this payment's within 30 days, so it's automatically calculating the settlement discount. So let's say they want to pay that right now. no problem. So I've received that payment for $9,017.22. I go up here and I click on what I like to call the money bag, which is your payment means. And this is where you go and you tell it, okay, how did I get that money? All right. Did I get it by check? Did I get it by a bank transfer, credit card, or God forbid, I even got some cash? So in this case, I got a check, and I'll say the check amount was 9017.22, and that's fine. There weren't any bank charges or anything like that. So the overall amount is there. The paid amount is there. I say okay. That's now allocated. You can see they're getting their 2% discount. And so all I do now is I say add. Again, accounting transaction happening here. That payment gets processed and that transaction's now gone. Next time I go in to process a payment from Microchips, there's all my outstanding invoices, and that invoice obviously doesn't show up anymore because it's been fully paid. All right, so that's all good. We'll close that down now. Oh, I don't want to save the changes there. Let's just go back and look at our sales quotation now, just for the sake of the exercise. Let's go to our sales AR. Going to use the menu this time, not my common functions, just again to show you that I've got access to this anytime I want. And then I'm going to call up that last sales quotation. There it is. If I now look at my relationship map, what do you think you're going to see that's different? Bingo, there it is. You've now, not only do you have your complete flow of the transactions there, but you can see I now have that incoming payment. And guess what? When I'm looking at that incoming payment, I also have exactly the same functionality there. I can look at my applied transactions or my relationship map, and it will show me this time from the perspective of the incoming payment what invoices were paid. So if this check was actually paying 20 different invoices, with one view, I would be able to see all 20 of those invoices here. So that's it. That's a quick look at SAP Business One. And again, as I mentioned, at the end of the presentation, I'm going to point you to some additional videos which will go through all of the other functionality in SAP Business One in more detail. So then let's wrap up before we go to our open Q&A for you. Let's summarize. What did we talk about? Well, I've given you an overview of SAP Business One, and I've explained to you that SAP Business One is SAP's compact business suite for small enterprises, and it's proven by more than 40,000 customers around the world. It's a perfect fit for the affiliates and subsidiaries of large enterprise customers around the world, and that's already been proven by the fact that more than 500 large enterprises run SAP Business One in more than 2,000 plus affiliates or subsidiaries around the world. It's a global solution that has a local focus. It's global because there's one code base which covers the whole world. But in that one code base, we provide 41 different country localizations and 27 languages. We deliver for you an affordable and a flexible deployment that's available on demand. You run it in the cloud or on premise. You run it from servers and hardware on your own premises. It enables you as a small or a mid-sized enterprise to operate worldwide, and it has many different integration capabilities. We have a solid roadmap which allows us to adopt new requirements, technologies, and industry trends and turn that into business functionality that delivers business value for you. And of course, SAP Business One as a solution is fully future-proof. And that's really important because it helps protect the investment that you are making today and protect that investment for you as you move forwards through your customer's growth cycle. So what do you do right now? Hopefully you found today's session to be of value. Maybe you've got some questions, and if you have, what I'd ask you to do is in the Q&A pod, which you can see on your screen right now, if you've got any questions, you can type those into the Q&A pod, and I'm going to answer those for you in a second. But if you want to learn more about SAP Business One, where can you go? Well, there's a couple of different things that you can do. You can go and visit the public website for SAP Business One, and you'll find that at sap.com/business1, and you'll see there's some quick response codes here that you can just snapshot with your mobile device, and it'll jump you straight to those websites. You can experience SAP Business One firsthand with a guided tour, or you can participate in a free trial where you can drive the software yourself, and you can see the URL there that you can access. Also, if you're a partner and you're watching this, then there are also a number of different quick links on our SAP Partner Edge website. But also in the notes pod that you can see here in our SAP Connect session, I've provided a couple of additional web links for you, including one to a end-to-end complete demonstration of SAP Business One. Now, if you wanted to watch the whole thing, it would take about 6 hours. All right, so there's 6 hours of content there, but it's broken up into all the different modules and different functional areas of SAP Business One. So you can jump in and jump out at your leisure. Just grab that URL and save it as a bookmark in your web browser. You can jump in and out of that at the time that suits you the best. So with that, what I'd like to do right now is we will open up the session for some Q&A. Now, we'll just be doing the Q&A with you asking the questions through the Q&A pod, and I'll be answering the questions either by the chat window or I'll just read out the question and the answer for you right now.